button.
Ta-da!
Hey everyone, welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And look, I have some friends who are joining me today. We have the ever mysterious John from MASSALIA Tarot. Say hi, John.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. And we have Lady Phoebe from Tarot Between Sisters.
Hello.
Hello. So, what we're going to do today is for any of you that have entered our contest to win the free personalized astrological reading. If you've never had one before, it's kind of hard to conceive what it may or may not include or what's involved and so on. So we thought that, John and I thought that we should show you an example, and Phoebe volunteered to be our first victim. I mean, our first guest.
I caught that. I caught it.
So she has never had one of these before. So we're going to delve into Phoebe's astrological chart, and John is going to give you a preview of what you can expect.
Yep.
Okay. So that having been said, the other things that I wanted to kind of, the little bit of housekeeping before we get into that is my community tab is now available to me. Yay! So I can send out quick little notices to you to let you know what I'm up to, what I'm doing, and where I'm going to be, and that sort of thing. So look out for current events or that kind of things that I'll be posting on the community tab. And that is thanks to all of you that have subscribed. This, I can't thank you enough. Really and truly, I cannot thank you enough. And I love knowing that you're there and that hopefully I'm providing value and you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel. So that is really, really good. The other thing is apparently I can now on the channel have the super chats, which is really nice. And when you donate to the channel, what it's going to allow me to do is to spend a little more quality time doing the videos. It's certainly going to help in upgrading some of the equipment that I have. It's done wonders for me up until now, but it's nice to know that at some point I'll be able to upgrade and all that good stuff. So, hi D Rose. Okay, alrighty. Let's just. Can you tell I'm excited? Can you tell I'm just a little excited? Okay, if you click on the description of this video, you'll not only see the upcoming astrological readings that we're going to be doing, but you also have the link for MASSALIA Tarot for John's channel, and also a link for Lady Phoebe's channel, the Tarot Between Sisters. And you really, really need to go and check out both of them. And particularly with Phoebe, because she does a lot of personal readings. So for those of you who come in and want to ask me a personal question, and I'm on here and I kind of tend to focus on the political, the current events, that kind of stuff, it's hard for me to read on personal questions on here because I'm feeling like everybody's energy. So it's sometimes hard to hone in. Phoebe can do that. So she can do the personal readings, and she's not really interested in the political and current events. So, hello, it works out perfect. It works out perfect. So, and John, yeah, you could go see him for a tarot reading, but really, he should change the name of his channel
I know.
to Astrology and Tarot.
Yeah, and tarot.
Yeah.
And Tarot. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, astrological things, you go to John's channel and you ask him, and personal things, you can go to Lady Phoebe's channel and ask her. And when you get on her channel, she can give you more details about what she does on TikTok. I'm not going to say any more about that. I'm going to let her tell you. All righty. Now, that having been said, shall we get started?
I'm like so
This
excited, and then like I said, like a little bit like not sure what to expect, but I know it's like overall just like super excited.
totally.
Great.
So, Lady Phoebe, this is your chart.
Woo! I wish
Yay!
that this meant something to me. It's really pretty and it's got really good
Yes,
lines and things.
yes.
We're gonna explain it one by one.
All right.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so I just wanted to start by getting into like how I analyze one's chart. So there's no one proven way to analyze a chart, personal chart. There are multiple ways of conducting a reading, and this is only one of them. So some astrologers might over focus or um, on a particular point in someone's chart, do some kind of karmic reading, maybe like analyze things like really in details for an hour or so. So given that we got a time constraint of about an hour, I only will analyze the main dominant elements, modalities, and so on. And also the planetary placements in sign and house. I won't do much of the aspects, which is the line that you see here in the center of the chart, because it'll take about like another hour just to explain all of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, and also I'll try not to get too teachery like I do in my usual podcasts, but bear with me, it won't be easy. Okay, so first of all, we can look at your dominant elemental tally here. This is on a system of 20 points based on my own calculation of the planets in signs, which are tied to one element. So here it is. This is fire, this is earth, this is air, and this is water. So definitely you get an emphasize. The emphasis here is in air and a little bit in fire.
Okay.
So definitely here we can see that Phoebe, you're all about being this kind of excitable person. You want to look and go around and see the world. This is a very, very energetic um, element combination, having air and fire in dominant in your chart. So you can have this kind of how you can say all over the place nature, and really have this need for exploration, exploring your world, and the trial and error, this kind of need for looking everywhere to seek how exciting and useful the world is to your mental and impulsive nature also. So since we've got an emphasis in air and a little bit in fire, there's a weakness in the opposite element, which is earth and water. So, especially at the early period of your life, this could be difficult for you to slow down and accessing your inner life. This could be a certain pitfall for you to just retrospect on your previous action and also meditate on your emotional nature, on your personal way of doing things. This can be difficult at first, but of course, every human can develop her their lacking elements, so that can be more they can be more balanced in the years going. But of course, it'll always be a little bit more difficult for you to access those kind of achieving stability in your life, and also achieving some kind of emotional awareness in form of, I would say, having an intuitive sense of what's going on inside of you at first.
Okay.
Then we can see the modalities, which is also in a 20 point based, like the element. So we've got cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So here, even though you've got a little bit more in cardinal, there's not much to say, I would say. It's pretty much balanced. So the, the modalities are all about how you act upon your or act upon your own nature, how you act upon your own volition, how you deal with change, how you deal with time constraint, how you deal with external pressure. So I would say that cardinal, fixed, and mutable are pretty much even in your case. So there's not much to say, I would say.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. As for the overall pattern here, the pattern of your chart is a seesaw pattern. This is the pattern of your chart is how the planets are formed inside of your chart. So the seesaw pattern shows that you've got two bunch of planets opposing each other that you can see here. And the seesaw pattern or shape, people who has this pattern, there's a capacity to see both sides to an issue. They're kind of a more objective side to them, but they still tend to express one side over another. There's a preference. And here, there's a clear cut. There's a clear margin. There's a clear overemphasis on one side at the detriment of the other one. Because all your personal planets are on that side. So definitely the houses, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th house will be overemphasized in opposition to those houses and those planets who are more collective planets. So even though you may have a little bit more, I would say, objectivity than maybe a little bit more than the actual Joe, the regular Joe, you may struggle with having to truly deal with both of the sides in a day-to-day fashion. So it comes with the difficulty of making choices and integrating the two parts. That's the most difficult aspect of this seesaw pattern. Okay, so the other one is the chain of dispositors. Dispositors are another way of saying that the planet is in its ruling sign. For example, I would say Mars is in Aries. This is its dispositor. So here, fortunately, we don't have to deal to have much more analysis here, because if we do all the tree of dispositors, so we could say like the sun, where it's the ruler of Gemini is Mercury. So Mercury is in Cancer. It's the dispositor. So we could say where's the moon? The moon is in Aries, and so on, arriving all the way back to Venus here. So Venus is looping here all the way on Gemini, and it's starting the new cycle again and again and again. So there's no clear dispositor in your chart. So there's no planet that is more, I would say, emphasized by this chain of dispositor. Had it would be, the said planet would be very important and should be very important to notice and locate in your chart, so that you could see more of its pattern, its strengths and weaknesses, and will be very strong in your chart. But this is not the case here. Okay, and also feel free to pitch in whenever you want if you have any questions.
Okay.
Okay. The second to last um, element in your chart beside the planets and points. This is the quadrants. So the quadrants corresponds to each of the three houses connecting to corresponding to one quadrant. This is the first quadrant, second, third, and fourth. So here you can see in my little simplified chart here that the emphasis here is very in the fourth. So the fourth quadrant.
John,
Yeah,
let me just stop you for a minute. When you were saying you were trying to show something,
yeah.
um, are you able to change maybe the color of your
Oh,
arrow or something? Because
mm,
yeah, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, it is a little bit hard to see where the point
okay.
is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obvious. Uh, oh God, I don't think so. Because I
Okay.
should. I'm sorry.
No, no,
Because it's
no,
only
no,
an
no.
image. I should have
Okay.
maybe looked for like a program or something to just use.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, just I just thought if it was possible to change it, excuse me,
Okay.
but if it's not, okay, then we'll just
Okay.
yeah, just
Okay.
maybe tell us where it is too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'll be more precise then. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. So for the quadrants, if you can see on the bottom left of the chart, there's a circle that I drew with
Right.
9323 here.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, this is a simplified version of the numerical values of all the planets that lies in the actual chart over here. So this represents all the quadrants of Phoebe's chart. So the first quadrant comes starts with the ascendant, the AC in the sign of
Mhm.
Leo, and ends with the IC. This is the fourth house
Right.
for Scorpio. So the one, two, the first, the second, and the third house corresponds to the first quadrant. This is the same for the second quadrant. This is the same
Okay.
pattern, same line of logic, and so on. So the third quadrant starts with the descendant, ends with
Right.
the midheaven in Taurus. So seven,
Okay.
eighth, and ninth house. And then the fourth starts with Taurus in the midheaven and hands end with the ascendant in Taurus. So this is the 10th, 11th, and 12th house. So if you can see here with um, my simplified chart on the bottom left of the slide
Mhm.
here, the numerical value is the dominant one. So the fourth quadrant in Phoebe's chart is dominant,
Right.
meaning that this gives you a driven, social minded, and personality that seeks social validation and recognition. You want control over your own life and you're kind of always on the go.
Yep.
This is really the fourth quadrant, meaning that you overemphasize leading projects and always striving for more results in your life. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for the quadrants. And as for the signs, there's not really much emphasis on a particular sign. There's like one or two planets in every sign. But as for the houses, this is the numerical space that you can
Right.
see 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the way to 12. That those are the houses. You've got the 10th house pretty stacked here, and you will see repeated words. The more I repeat the concepts, the words, those are emphasized, those are put it to spotlight, And that is what makes the most broad and the most important traits in your personality, in your character overall. So the emphasis on the 10th house means that you need recognition to elevate yourself. You strive for being this kind of to polish your social um, your social face in a way, your social front. This is very important to you, and there's a strong influence also from one of the parents. Usually, this is the formative and socializing parent. So it could be either your mother, your father.
Okay.
For most of, I've seen that for most of the women, it is the father here that is represented. But that could be the opposite for you. Okay, so that is pretty much all the little scribbles that I've written down for you, Phoebe. And now we're gonna look into every points and planets that are here in your chart. So first, starting with your rising sign. Your rising sign corresponds to the ascendant here at the very left side of the chart. So that's its mark AC. So your chart here corresponds to the rising sign of Leo at the very end of it, 27 degrees, almost 28. So the ascendant in Leo means that whenever you seek out new territories, you enter the scene in a way, and people notice you. The first thing that they will notice about you is your need to shine and to make an impact in your environment. Even if you're not conscious of it, there will be this need to shine and to be a kind of to take your place, to be like this kind of this kind of ringleader. So people notice how magnanimous, a little bit dramatic, and also sunny you are. This is kind of a here I am. This is
Not
me.
dramatic.
What are you talking about?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, you. So with the Leo rising or Leo ascendant, there is always this need for being this kind of I would say this kind of light inside this kind of maybe dreary or dark world in a way. So you can always count for an Leo rising to be this light provider, this fun relief character also. And there is also a need to project your ego in every new situation, even if it's unconscious. You need to say, like, here, this is me, this is who I am. There's a very strong need for like projecting, look for the people to look at what you are made of in a way. And your identity is tied to your facade. So your facade reflects who you are, your identity, very closely. And I would say that um, this is confirmed because your chart ruler, which corresponds to the ruler of the ascendant, this is it um, at the very top of the chart in Gemini, the sign that is 2 in orange. You can see the circle within the circle. This is the sun.
Mm.
So the sun is your chart ruler. The chart ruler will be extremely important in your chart. This is how you will, this is a continuation of your personality. And since this is the sun, this means that it is extremely important in your case to shine and to your identity is very important in your chart for you to express and to manifest into the sign and the house in which it is occupied. So having the sun in Gemini, you definitely need to communicate and express your thoughts in order to shine, to manifest your identity. Your ego
Yep.
is tied to your intellect and your ability to reason, write, and speak. You may seek multiple ways for you to actualize who you are during your lifetime. And this position here brings a natural, bright, and curious energy with a natural double nature, because there's a multiple way of expressing yourself here with Gemini. So yeah, definitely here with the rising sign in Leo and with the chart ruler here in Gemini, there's a strong need to feel, I would say also, free in how you express yourself, and there's also a strong need to be enjoying yourself whenever you go. A very strong need. There's also the sun in the 10th house. Here, again, this is the sector here at the very top of the chart, which is which is occupied by a lot of planets. So the sun in the 10th house here, there's a definite need to verticalize yourself and develop a strong social image. Again, with that thematic of social image and social recognition. It's like a recurring theme. Ambition is needed to fully develop the self. You really want your intellect to be acknowledged by your social circle. It's like your trademark. Here, I'm smart. I'm someone who can um, be able to reason. Or your like your business card is all about being this kind of very chatty and really expressive person.
And she
Uh,
is.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You- Very smart when it comes to explaining things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm just
Totally.
laughing because it's like this very strong need for everyone to know how smart I really am.
Well, there is. And again, with the chart ruler here in the 10th house, Gemini, and being the sun is the most important planet of all the chart in general for most people. Well, again, there may be an over identification with your reputation, and you may lose yourself in your achievements because of that. You may over rely on what you can achieve, what you can develop, how you think, how you can manifest your ego, your identity through your thoughts, what you think, how you can express and communicate with others, so that there might be something lacking more in the individual or intimate space at time.
Okay.
Um, and also the father figure may have been a strong influence since the son rules over the father usually. Yeah, it may have been a strong influence in how you develop your social reputation.
I can agree to that.
Okay, enough about the sun. Let's look at the moon. The moon is the crescent here in the 9th house. So this is in the red sign here of Aries. So it's smack dab in the middle. The moon rules over our emotions, how we process, and also our impulsive behavior, how we express and react to our environment. So, having the moon in Aries, there's a strong impulse driven emotions. Emotions come and buy on a whim. They can be hard to rein in because there is a strong need to assert the emotional nature here. So, you can easily react to events that you perceive as aggressive or conflictual. There is a really, really strong sensitivity to conflict here. Any conflict will be like, oh, deal with strong emotional reactions here. Um, Sometimes also you may be impatient with other people's need, or your mother might have been with yours at times.
Yes. Yeah.
When you feel like your needs aren't met, you can become curt and angry with others or just with your environment. Oh my God, why is it here? Oh my God. And there's a kind of a very strong, brash, um, yeah, emotional outburst that can occur, especially when it's untamed. So in the actual childhood or like early on in life. After all, it's maybe a little more tamed.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely here, there's a lot of emotional impulse. Okay, so now we look at the moon in the ninth house. The moon is in the ninth sector of the zodiac here. So right before Taurus. Okay, so with the moon in the ninth house, you definitely are a dreamer. That is especially receptive to teachings of philosophy, religious, and or spiritual beliefs.
Yeah.
There's a very with this particular position, the moon here kind of wanders into the mind and also yearn for like foreign lands and being like traveling. That doesn't mean that you will actually travel because the moon may be a little bit more about the emotional nature, less than the actual let's do that concrete nature. But still, there is a strong need for like expansivity. Like you feel like, oh my God, I'm so constrained here. I wish I could be like somewhere else. I could travel the world. I could maybe, I don't know. There's a need for a strong, um, yeah, a very wide sandbox for you to play into, for you to be satisfied. You may need a lot in order to feel content sometimes, or sometimes you can be like unrealistic in your expectations of I've of what your wants and needs. So maybe you want something out of on a whim and say like, oh, that I wish I could have more, or oh, this is not what I thought it would be. So oh, maybe more of that. So it's like a bit yeah, a visionary perspective. Yeah, you may want to reside in foreign countries and frequently change locations during your lifetime. Yeah, because the moon is all about cycles. So it's like on it's not dead set on one location or one thing. There's a lot of movement here. So maybe for maybe a year or two, you're settling down somewhere and like, oh, I need a change of environment. I need to venture out somewhere else. And it's always exciting, especially with the moon in Aries. It's like, I need new beginnings constantly. I need always to feel excited, exhilarated with what I can sustain for myself. Also, you nurture others by teaching and sharing insights, inspiring
Mhm.
others is very important to you.
Absolutely.
That's a very cool position. I got
Yeah.
it too, so it's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at Mercury here in Cancer. This is the blue sign with the oh la la 69. Um,
What?
Wow. Getting all
so
flustered over here.
I don't know
yeah,
what you mean.
no.
What's that?
So this is Mercury over there, just shy a few degrees of the first line here, commencing the 11th house. So Mercury here is in Cancer, the sign of Cancer. So definitely here you communicate with your feelings. there's a strong need to be like, um, yeah, when you communicate, when you speak about things, you may pepper your you may pepper your communication, your words with like sigh or just like emotional speech in a way. So I got that one too. So yeah.
It's funny, my sister, because on TikTok, when I'm like,
Yeah.
and she's like, she was watching another video. Sorry to interject, but she was like, "Oh, he breathes out just like you do," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that I did that." But then I watched. I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And with Mercury in Cancer, your interests center around mainly food, shelter, family, and your personal past. It's all about like what sustains you. What is it's where is your umbilical cord located at? It's really important for you to be um to be
Hi,
communicating
Ox.
that to you.
right? He always
Yeah.
makes a written appearance. This guy.
Hi. Also, with Mercury in Cancer, and definitely in your case, because this is pretty much the only planet that I see, especially in water. I don't count Uranus here because it's the generational planet at the bottom of the chart here. This little antenna in Scorpio. This is the blue sign with the
Mhm.
arrow, M with the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is generational planet. So I only count the personal planet here in water. So, especially in your case, you may appear more emotional that you might actually be, or you may communicate in a more emotional thing that you currently feel sometimes. This is a very subtle thing to think about, but still, if you were to have more planets in Cancer or in other water signs, then you might truly actually feel the need to communicate what's inside of you. So it's like I would say, a quirk of yours. You also with this combination, remember when I said with the moon in the ninth house that you're a dreamer?
Yeah.
Again, Mercury in Cancer is prone to daydreaming also. So
Guilty.
so again, that's that's another facet of yours that is emphasized here. With Mercury again, with the 11th house. So here, this is the 11th house. Right after the one with all of the planets, this is the 11th one. You love to interact with groups of friends. You share your insights with a community that shares your interests. Definitely. Oh, yeah. Mercury in the 11th house loves to communicate, share. Uh, there's a need for a like minded groups.
Yeah.
To be like minded people. And especially with Cancer, especially with Mercury in Cancer, you consider your friends like family and
Yeah.
can be very close to them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a
So,
very
do you
strong need.
belong to any clubs, Phoebe? Do you belong to
Oh,
any groups that
I've been
you?
looking and I just can't find any.
um, and since the 11th house speaks about the goals and hopes in life, let me just say I will delve a little bit into the aspects here because I think that it's quite important. Um, your hopes and goals in life can lack focus and be a bit undefined at times. You can be a little bit like, oh, I don't know where to orient myself in that, or because there is an opposition uh, between Mercury and Neptune. This is the red line crossing the chart here. So you get Mercury in Cancer, and you get the trident planet here in the arrow over there. The arrow corresponds to Sagittarius. So there's a big red line crossing here. And it's like, oh my God, I don't know where to. especially during with friends. Also, you can like, well, I don't know how to communicate my goals, my wishes, or what can this group can, like, how can we benefit from all all together, where we when we can go with that, what can we achieve together. It's like, I don't know, it's a little bit foggy here. So, but yeah, especially for Mercury opposition Neptune, it's like, the goals can be a little bit hazy at times. Okay, let's go for Venus. Venus is the feminine symbol here in the sign of Gemini at the very top of the chart. So it is in the 10th house of success and goals. So Venus and Gemini, you enjoy discussing about pleasant topics and can charm others by the way you express yourself.
Mhm.
Your tastes are all about being bright, colorful, young, and varied. You like variety in clothing. You don't want to have the same style over and over again. You like to have like some kind of, yeah, it's all over the place. With Gemini, there's no clear cut definition. As long as your personal clothing style or style in general is all about being youthful, bright, colorful, yeah, young and hard.
Mhm.
Since Gemini also rules over the hands, you can enjoy making things beautiful with your hands, or even your own hands, as in your case.
Yeah, like your nails,
Yeah.
like your
I don't know what you're talking
baking.
about here.
Yeah, like your what is it that you do professionally, Phoebe?
Hairstylist and nail technician.
Oh yes, the
and I
poster
will
girl.
and I will
Yeah.
go further here. Since the midheaven is in Taurus, midheaven corresponds to the cusp of the 10th house. So the line here, the really dark line coming into the top of the chart, right next to the 10th house is all about our career. Again, I still like hammer down that fact, but still, there's a lot of things going on in your chart. And Venus is the ruler of your 10th house. So, where would your ideal career be? It's all about the hands. It's all about creating something with the hands, or with beautifying something with your, either with your voice, your communication skills. Yeah, so hairdresser is definitely here in your chart. Definitely, a
Even like
hundred
tarot
percent.
reading, right? Like, because you're supposed
Yes.
to like I love shuffling. Like, there's something about a shuffle, and like I talk with
Yep.
my hands quite a bit when I'm doing readings. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yep. Definitely. There's a thing with also communicating something that is, yeah, there's almost like an art to that. You like to make an art of your career as a,
Mhm.
yeah, it's very personal. Finally, with Venus and Gemini, you are attracted to people with strong communication skills. Definitely. So you can charm with your natural communication skills, but you can also be attracted to people who can boast things like that.
Yeah.
Venus in the 10th house. So your reputation is tied to your beauty and sense of aesthetic. You want to endeavor to perform in some artistic profession and be seen as pleasing, beautiful, and charming. Harmony is crucial in your work environment, and you may try to maintain peace at all costs at times. Yeah, definitely here.
Yeah.
Especially if because of the Taurus here, where the 10th house of career is located in. Yeah, definitely Venus rules over that uh, midheaven and is in the house of career. So it's like a double whammy here. One of your parents may have upheld strong values about aesthetics or being perceived as attractive.
Okay.
Venus rules over the 10th house, Taurus. So this is very emphasized in your chart, like I said. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very, very, very important in your chart, too. Yeah. So Venus is a major player in your chart. So your need for balance, aesthetics, harmony is crucial. Crucial. Okay, so let's look at Mars. Mars is the male symbol at the very top of the chart in the sign of Taurus, here in green. So, Mars in Taurus, you may be slow to commit to new tasks, but once you're getting started, you usually finish your tasks, and it can be hard to stop you. It can be difficult because once Taurus is like entrenched in their, it's like a locomotive. It's very hard to like pull all the mechanics and okay, it's hard to start, but once you get the motor and the engine rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really you. You have to get a really strong brake to truly get it to stop.
Can't stop now. I'm already
Yep.
going. I
No.
can't stop now.
And I would say that this position of Mars in Taurus is very good for your Gemini because
Okay.
Gemini tend to be all over the place. So it's very good to anchor yourself with Mars and Taurus.
Okay.
That's a very good like helping pattern
Perfect.
here.
I need all the help I can get in that aspect.
Yeah. Especially with Mars in the 10th house of career, that means that you can really be able to persevere in something that is long-winded and can take a lot of years to truly activate or fully develop.
Yes.
This is a very good position, I would say.
Good.
Yeah, with Mars and Taurus, you may not mind doing routines jobs, but it needs to be the reward should be really practical in order to fully reaping the benefits of your effort. Uh, it- it's really important to you um, to be in touch with the practical side of your job and what you do in order to feel like, okay, I'm doing actual physical. I'm reaping also benefits from that, and there's like proof, tactical, tangible proof of that. So Gemini tends to be a little bit more like in the imagination spectrum. But with Mars and Taurus, it's like, no, I need to have some kind of, tangible rewards for that. So it's not only like sunshine and rainbows and like, oh, that's a good thought or that's a really interesting theory that you had. No, I need to have like practical uh, things to look at. Also, since Mars is all about how we get angry, Mars and Taurus usually gets you a very long fuse, but once it's depleted, it's very hard to stop you.
Okay, so sorry, I just have a question here. Because
Yes.
in my emotions in Aries, you were saying that I'm pretty quick to,
Yes.
like very impulsive with my reaction, which
Yes.
I didn't resonate super great with just because I am more like it takes me a while to get there. Once I'm there, though,
Yes.
again, it's like this locomotive on the train. I cannot stop. Once I'm mad, I am angry, but it takes me a while to get there. But
That's
then
a
I guess
very
I've been
good point.
impulsive on sometimes too, so I think that they're both.
And that proves that astrology can be a little bit misleading at times because if you only look at one planet or one point within your chart, there will be discrepancies. There will be things that no, it doesn't really stick or it doesn't seem really accurate. But since your moon, let's look at your moon here, the crescent in Aries in the ninth house. What is the ruler of Aries? Mars. Mars is in Taurus. So your moon is influenced by Taurus. So that's
Okay.
why you don't necessarily feel always impulsively, like emotionally impulsive or emotionally like brash at times. Of course, the ruler is in Taurus, which is a
Okay.
much more placid,
Okay.
peaceful sign.
Yeah.
But again, like you've said, once you get angry, yeah. And you can be sexually attracted to strong, sensual type of people.
Yes, that is correct.
Mars in the 10th house, you are very ambitious. You want to be known as a self made woman who work hard to get where you are. You can be very independent, especially with Uranus here making another opposition here all the way across the chart in red. So it emphasizes your independent nature, and you can be a little bit competitive at times. You can encounter confrontation and division in your career, as well as be seen as combative. With Taurus here, I would say it's less in your face, but it's more about I'm going to do everything it takes to be at that point in time here. I will be very consistent. And if there's something in my way, no, let's shove it aside and just carry on. It's more about the persistent effort than the competitiveness, I would say. But still, there is this element here. You can encounter confrontation and division in your career. Since Mars, everything where my Mars lies, uh, there is confrontation. So sometimes you can be a little bit, you can encounter some kind of competition in your career. And one of your parents may have encouraged you to act on your desire, or conversely, try to sabotage your achievements, depending on the overall thing. Finally, Jupiter in the second house here. Now I'm skipping the signs and only looking at the houses, since we're now entering the more generational planets. So here we got Jupiter here, just here, lying next to Saturn at the bottom left of the chart in Libra. So now I cannot speak about Jupiter without integrating Saturn here. So buckle up. It's going to be a little more precise. So here, Jupiter and Saturn in the second house, you want to expand your resources in order to feel elated and protected. You may also value concepts that can guide you in your quest for fulfillment. However, you may feel restrained by your ability to self express and your self doubt, preventing you from cultivating a healthy self esteem. You may have been perceived or ridiculed for your intelligence or your ability to speak as a child. This is because of your square here. This is another red line here with Mercury, who's all about the communication department. And this is also because there's in the group setting here. So it can be really daunting at first when you speak about things that make you yeah, especially it can be hard to you can have like stage fright or things like that. It can be really daunting for you to just like go and just express thing in a very collective setting, because there's a lot of shame and also fear of failure related about that. Um, and your worst fear could also be making you feel excluded from some group. It can be hard to truly feel great about yourself deep down because you feel that you express the way you expect um, difficulties and limitations in your life. Um, it kind of restrains your ability to expand and be truly satisfied with what you've done. Um, And also, you may have difficulty coming from the area of values, money, and possession. This can be a very hard area to truly be totally like secure, I would say. You may want to hoard money so you feel a sense of security, but still feel insecure about managing your finances. You may occasionally lose faith and think you can't handle money at all, but you still have strong persevering qualities. It's a little bit more somber, I would say, but it's normal because every time we talk about Saturn, and it's kind of putting into the spot the difficulty aspects of the chart is put into the spotlight. So about Uranus here, we're almost at the end. Uranus here is at the very bottom of the chart in the 4th house. This is the antenna here. Your early life was maybe bound to be hectic and prone to many sudden changes, as there were little stability in the home, especially with this planetary placement. It's like, oh my God, it's all over the place. There's a lot of, it's a roller coaster. You never know what to happen next with that combination. Your nurturing parent may have been perceived as original, individualistic, or the relationship was not really intimate at times. There was this kind of difficulty accessing, or the relationship was more friendly instead of like fatherly or motherly, I would say, with that. There's not a lot of heart, deep seated emotional connection here. You may be destined to uproot yourself and live your life in a completely different way from your biological family, because there were maybe some expectations and you were forced, or you were like, no, I'm not going into the trench here. I'm not following the trend. I'm going my own way here. Creating a new home may be daunting at first, especially in the family expecting a traditional lifestyle for you. Yeah. Neptune in the 5th house. So this is the trident here. So it's technically in the 4th house, but given that it's only a few degrees away of the 5th, I kind of switch the house and go into the 5th house. It still has its own influence in the 4th, but I would say that it kind of it'll kind of activate itself more into the 5th as life evolves for you. So, since the 5th house deals with how we can manifest our ego and our creativity into the world, you may have had difficulty expressing yourself as a child, as you were very sensitive to what was expected of you.
Yes.
You might even had to sacrifice some of your creativity to playtime in order to please other people.
Yep.
On another topic, you are incredibly romantic and giving in the area of love, as you like to create an atmosphere of mystery. Whenever you feel like that you can be romantically involved with someone, there's this kind of boundless connection that you have with the other person. It's kind of like forming this kind of intimate world with that other significant other. You might also be addicted to the feeling of being in love and might be out of touch with reality in that area at times. It's kind of a weak spot that can be activated at times, especially when, definitely, especially when you want to express something that is truly personal to you. Then you might feel a little bit like in unease because you don't know how to express that without being submerged by emotional by your own emotions or by the environment's emotions. Finally, the last placements that I will talk about is Pluto. This is the P here in the 3rd house. So Pluto in 3rd house, you like to learn about the mysteries of the life and you have a natural investigative mind, or your interest centers around, yeah, the hidden reality of society. That could be crime, that could be the occult, corruption, that could be like magic, anything like that.
All of the
So
above.
once you are hooked on a topic like that, you can be fascinated by it, investigating investing your undivided attention into it. It's like you're hooked onto it, and you're like, oh my god, I need to invest and dig deeper into that. The way you communicate or the subject you express your opinion on might be controversial to some people, or you can even attract people like that by being this kind of mysterious. And the way, because the third house is also a little bit how we speak, how we communicate. So there's this kind of aura of mystery that you can cultivate when you can speak or things like that. So some people can be really, yeah, I would say enthralled by that. You may have brothers or sisters that keep deep secrets to themselves, have a powerful presence, or simply live really mysterious lives that you don't necessarily know about. They're at this kind of disguise that they put on, and it's really hard for you to maybe access at times.
Sorry, you can see my face. That
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm
Yeah.
actually pretty close with all my family, and we
Okay.
like my siblings, and we like go in. My
Yeah,
sister's
it could
actually
be.
one like Lady Tab. She's been who's commenting here.
Yeah.
That's been
Uh-huh.
brought up. That's my sister.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, like we go pretty in. We're
Cool.
pretty,
Well,
so yeah, but sorry, I just couldn't hide it because my face. I was like,
yeah. Well, definitely, I can look at your chart and say that yeah, there's a strong connection here. Instead of this kind of distance, there could be strong, I would say, a magnetic presence with the brothers and sisters. Like, oh, we can be like separated in a way. It's like, oh, there's this strong connection between each other.
yes,
It's very, very potent.
yes.
Yeah. So that pretty much sums up all the things I can say for that power interpretation.
Whew.
How is it?
It was I like very accurate. Absolutely. There's a couple things that it's hard because like there's things that you don't know about yourself or that you haven't like dived into. So there's some things that maybe didn't resonate right now, but have in the past.
Oh yeah.
And then there's other things that I'm like, oh, this doesn't resonate yet, but maybe because I haven't
Yeah.
like when I'm doing a tarot reading, a lot of times people don't know where to look until spirit tells me to put your awareness here. And then they go,
Yes.
oh, so they can't say yes or no because they've not dived into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That I felt that there was a lot of that happening where I'm like, oh, now I know where to put my attention in because you're drawing my awareness to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So that's so like most of it I could absolutely be like, yes, 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 totally resonates. And then the other ones that I couldn't say yes on now, just because, like I said, more resonated in the past, not necessarily today, but like what you said, in childhood, things are a lot stronger. And then as you go through adulthood, you're able to work through some of that stuff. And then, yeah there's other things like this one for some reason struck something that there's more communication about feeling, but not like, it's almost like it's a little exaggerated
At times.
than how I'm actually feeling. So I'm like, oh, that is interesting. So to me, I'm like, okay, that's something to look at to be a little bit more connected with how I'm actually feeling and maybe not the exaggeration of it. And again, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that I was doing that. And then you said that, but I'm like, okay, I think that there's something there. So it was actually really cool because it gave me some things to go forward and be like, oh, I didn't realize that that's what's happening, but it hits that it's true, but I didn't know about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, how did you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
But when something is a little highlighted or brought to your attention, yeah, then you can look at it and you can say, okay, yeah, that's something I'm willing to look at. Or you could say, nope, doesn't apply to me. See you later. Right.
Right.
But at least it's been brought to your attention, right?
Absolutely.
Which is, I think, what we all want, because that's how we grow. We
Well, if
grow
I
when
don't
we
know,
learn.
right. If I don't know where to put my energy and awareness, then how am I going to move through things? If I'm just tunnel visioned and not willing to look at things that maybe are a little bit uncomfortable, like no one wants to hear that, like, oh, you exaggerate your emotions a little bit. It's like, ow. And I know that you weren't meaning it as an ouch, but I was like,
No.
oh. So and that's how I knew that there was something there, because I was like slightly insulted. So that's how I was like, okay. So there's obviously something there, because if I didn't resonate with that at all, I would have absolutely no emotional reaction to it. It would be completely blank, and I'd be like, okay, that I can see that my chart's airing, but it really doesn't feel strong. But because I was like slightly insulted and like a little bit irritated, I was like, okay, Phoebe, obviously there's something there.
Well, if
Obviously
it makes you
there's
feel
something
any
there.
better, if it makes you feel any better, Phoebe, before you came on, yeah, John was saying, huh, it's no wonder that we get along as well as we do, because we have some of the same stuff in the charts. So
Yeah.
Which is what you're saying, Jean-Michel. You're like, I have this too. I have this too.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I thought this was fantastic, and I'm very detailed. There were some things obviously that were over my head when we were talking about I forget what you're saying on the side bit there. There was a word that you used that I was like, I have no idea what that means. But he said that it doesn't really matter because there's not any strong things in my chart anyway. So there's really nothing to say about that. So I was like, okay.
Oh my God, what was that? I don't
I forget
remember
the word.
either.
So like you've got the elements, and
It
then
was
you've got the
right at the
modalities.
beginning.
Yeah, the chain of dispositors.
Just
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really fancy word for just like the chain here, that dispositor is rulership. Like so like this the sun rules over Leo, the moon rules over. So if you have the moon in Cancer, or if you have the sun in Leo, then it's your dispositor.
Okay.
That's basically that.
So I have no Pisces in my chart, eh? It's a little bit, I don't even know, like a tiny bit of Cancer, like a titch, and then a little titch of Scorpio.
Yeah, and that's why it's so fascinating to see you delving into spirituality like that, because we usually identify the water signs with spiritual stuff, but still it's only the first layer, I would say, to seek out for spirituality, because there's so much of it. First, you've got the ninth house with the moon, so you're naturally attuned to spirituality. It's naturally sustaining you. And then also you've got aspects to the generational planets of Uranus and Neptune, and also Pluto. Those are the three planets that deals about spirituality. You also have a very beautifully aspected Pluto, which is all about the mystery, the secrets, the underbelly of society. So there is a strong need to invest your time, especially in the third house of communication, interests. Like there's a strong need to invest your time to understanding complicated matters, into like what is unseen. Oh, I think we got a message from your sister.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
This is going to be very interesting, because I think that, well, this chart is so in depth and it's so amazing. And that's what this whole day is today about, is like, we wanted to show people exactly what you're getting, because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, very, very much so. And I think a lot of people sort of only because they don't know any better would assume maybe it's just a little you're this, so you're kind of this, and I don't think that they understand how deep it is. So that was one of the reasons that we did this, and thank you both for doing that. I think this is fantastic. And to answer Lady Tab's question, and anybody else's question about how do you win a free astrological reading. Okay. On Wednesdays, John and I do a little segment. It's called Let's Talk Astrology. First, we had a little bit of an introduction, and then we delved into each one of the signs. So if you go back on my channel and even John's channel, you'll see, we read on Aries, we read on Taurus, we read on Gemini, and this Wednesday we're reading on Cancer. All you have to do is go into one of those videos, okay, and leave a comment. That's it. Comment can be great day outside, is it snowing where you are, or enter me for the draw. And that's it. That's all there is to it. And the first draw we're going to have is going to be just before the Leo reading, which is going to be on November the 2nd at 7 p.m. And so that person is going to have a chance to see, what it is, and they're going to get their own little 1-hour session all about their sign, whatever that might be. The second draw is going to be, I believe, on November 30th, just before we do Sagittarius. And the last draw will be on December 28th. And I'll announce the time later on the channel as to when that's going to be. But that is how you win a free astrological reading. And you also get, aside from the wonderful astrological reading, you get 30 minutes with a personal tarot reading from me. So there. I don't know which one is what. It's like, if after John has done his magic, you want me to read for you, I can do that. But he does his magic first.
You both are. It's
So
an equally amazing prize to get either of those things.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Go back to the Wednesday videos and comment on the astrology videos, because sometimes there are other videos, but yeah, Wednesdays. And this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you both. And like I said in the beginning, for those of you who are interested in more of a personal reading, or you just kind of want to go somewhere where you can quickly ask a question and it's of a personal nature, then you go to Tarot Between Sisters. You go on their channel, you see when Phoebe is going to be live, and ask away. She's fantastic at not only tarot but mediumship as well. She can tune into all that kind of stuff, and then you can ask her about not only her YouTube channel, but her TikTok as well. Just saying.
Yep. TikTok is where we do a lot of lives on TikTok, and that's where the personal questions, like on YouTube so far, what we've done is just like general readings. My sister, she's here, Lady Tabs. She does a lot of the twin flame readings. So she's diving into that, and she does twin flame. I do more general energies. We do some astrological readings as well, just like a little quick touch on what's coming for them. And then TikTok, we both go live, and that's when we do a lot of personal questions and personal readings and mediumship and all those things. So it's pretty cool. It's very fun. So if this chart didn't scare you away from me, then come and check it.
No, you're very, very good at what you do. And anyone who's had a reading with Phoebe, it walks away a lot smarter and a lot more in tune with what's going on in their life. So
thank you very much, Marina. I really appreciate that.
You are more than welcome.
Like, Jean-Michel's like, it's very important for people to know how smart you are. And I'm like, oh,
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much, you guys. This was fantastic. I really enjoyed myself here today.
Good. I'm so glad. And maybe we should do it again soon, right?
Yeah.
We can do it again, and
maybe give me a break and we can do someone else, okay?
Yeah, but I think that should be the start of something new for us, like a new side podcast or something like that.
Absolutely.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, we can definitely look into it, and maybe just kind of concentrate on Lady Tabs. Here, I'll put it up.
I did it. I commented.
I did it. Yes, I did it.
Seriously, this is
Great.
amazing.
Thank you,
Well, like,
Tabs.
especially- well, and I asked Tabitha before here, I said, have you ever had a reading, like, have you have your chart done before? And she says, I've done it through like the internet online, but it was by myself. I didn't have anyone, like, she didn't have a person that actually knows
Yeah.
astrology saying all of how everything works out and everything. It's fantastic, Tabby. It's in depth and it's amazing, and it definitely gives you some stuff to think about. And yeah, it's awesome. I'm really, really happy.
Totally. Totally. Absolutely. Maybe next time we do one of these, we can, I don't know, we can do one of Lady Tabs.
Could be. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Watch that shit. Yes, I would.
we could be onto something. All righty. Yes, you are in the draw. Tabs to win. Yes. Yeah, you are in there. So, okay. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you everyone for being here. You know, don't forget, share, like, subscribe, but more than anything else, share this video with someone who you think might benefit from an astrological, you know, free astrological reading, and get them to come on board. It's very simple. You subscribe to my channel, you subscribe to John's channel, you make a comment, you're in. You win, you win. If you don't, that's fine. It didn't cost you anything. It took a minute of your time, right? But that's how you can get one of these for your very own. All righty. Okay.
Thanks for having
Say
us.
goodbye,
Marina.
everyone.
Thank you
Sorry?
so much.
Thanks for having
Oh,
us.
you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. As
And
always, my
Jean-Michel,
pleasure.
chef's
Oh.
kiss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.